Okay, it is time for the seat cover to be removed. We're going to replace the stock seat cover and foam with the Seat Concepts foam and seat cover. We utilize the stock seat pan because it's in great shape. It's made to fit exactly, and it's pretty lightweight. Some of the other aftermarket ones are even heavier, maybe a little bit stiffer, but they don't include the little airbox cover, which I want to keep included on the bike. Sometimes people remove that to move the battery, but I say get a lighter battery. Anyways, put your toolkit under the seat. That weighs about 5 pounds. Put your battery that will now weigh 1 pound where the battery goes. Anyways, nothing spectacular about this. We're going to sit here and remove all of these little staples like that, one at a time until they're all gone. We'll do a little time lapse so you don't have to wait for my video. Well, here we go. Let's get the staples out of the seat. Get all these staples out, and then we can get the seat cover off. There are a million of these little staples, man. I'm going to have a whole spider worth of staples when I'm done. Oh, look at that, another seat cover. Well, surprise, surprise, surprise. Of course, there's another seat cover to take off. Well, instead of cleaning this one, just cover it with a piece of crappy Naga hide. Yeah, anyways. This is actually a better seat cover than that one was. I think it's got a little tear right here in the top, but actually, you could clean that up and it would actually look better than that one. Oh, how silly. But now we got to work on taking this one off. All right, with the seat cover, all those staples were a lot more aligned, so it was easier. So I pulled the staple and then yanked them out with a pair of pliers. It went a lot faster. All right. The second seat cover went quite a bit faster. It was the staples were in more consistently in a correct order. Well, correct. They were in an order, so they were easier to pop. So just pop each one loose, and then grab them with a plier and pull them out. Then I went through and removed any little pieces of staples that would stick through that weren't still on this side, so I could pull all those little staples out. That's my little collection of staples. All right, so we've got old seat covers, 2 of them, and the old seat foam. Let's go get the new stuff. And let's see what we have here. We've got instructions. We have a plastic cover to go over the seat foam and under the seat cover so that in case any water or moisture gets in here, it keeps it dry. And then this is the seat foam. Seems pretty nice. Let's see how that, oh my gosh, it's perfect fit. Look at that. Get my Seat Concept sticker, and we'll probably likely do is do another time lapse of this whole thing, but I was going to mention what I'm using to put my seat cover on. This is from Harbor Freight, so I think I got it on sale. The stapler was like $25, and it saves you so much headache. I used to use a regular stapler and hold it down and push as hard as I could, then hit the stapler, and half of them would stick out, and you'd have to pull them out and do them over again. This one, every time, snap, 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 snap. It has a little safety thing on here, but that safety little thing that you can see here, when you push down on it and kind of pull, it helps you tension the seat as well, right at the same time. It is like made for doing seat covers. And then 5,000 staples. Good. I also mentioned that taking all these staples out and doing a seat cover like this, if you pay somebody else to do this, at least in California, people charge $80 an hour to work on this stuff. At $80 an hour, I would say 30 minutes to maybe 45 minutes to take all those staples out, get the 2 seat covers off. They're going to charge you an hour for that, so I was $80 already. That's expensive. Then putting the seat cover on, that's probably another hour, so that's $160 just to put the seat cover on your old seat pan. In that case, if you're going to pay somebody else to do it, just buy the whole new seat concept seat. It's probably close to the same, maybe a little bit less than paying somebody else to do your seat cover for you. I kind of like doing this stuff myself. I know it's done right. I know how it's done. You have a little bit more pride and ownership when you have something completed and you did it yourself. That's my thing. I've got a little extra time, so I'm going to do it myself. And as we move forward with this, that plastic cover really helps actually to install the seat. It makes it slip over a little bit better. When you tension it, the seat cover slides a little bit better. So even if you're in a dry climate, like I'm mostly in a dry climate, putting that moisture barrier on there is actually a help. So definitely good on them to include it, and it's easy to install. You can see I do this stapler really helps. I mean, it's unbelievable. It looks like I'm going to staple myself there. I'm absolutely sure I'm going to staple myself at some point. I think I even pointed towards myself. But they're little tiny short staples. Once you get it completely done, you'll end up looking over that seat, making sure it's tight. Don't be afraid to pull some staples out and retension it just to get it just right. And you just go along, and I'm just cutting out that moisture barrier where it sticks out from the seat. The seat cover is perfect size. Guys, there you have it. The seat concept seat installed with the moisture barrier under it. Good looking seat. I think much better than the old one there. I hate this tank. I don't like the black with all the white, and it just looks kind of bulbous. And it's 4 gallons, which is better than stock. But 5.8 is available. So let's take the tank off. We've got this bolt here holding it into the frame. It's down in my pocket. We've got a bolt down here with a wire going across from this side to the other side. We'll take those out. Got them loose. Okay, one. And then this side. That's the wire that goes across. That actually just holds it in case the front end were to try and come up, because there's one bolt, and then it's got 2 grommets you'll see here in a second. Fuel line. Fuel line's right here. Disconnect that with the fuel off. It'll drain a little bit of gas here. And that's all that holds this tank on. Let's see if we can coerce it off. There we go. And we have 4-gallon tank off. Let's see. Thank you for spending money with us. You're welcome. Oh yeah. What is this? Tank. It's got a texture to it. Can you see it? Well, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, a little bit of a texture to it. All right, so we're looking at the tank. You have the tank on, and actually the little bolts here, so those are bolted in. These are the support brackets for the tank. And actually the tank, you know, if you lube up if you're thinking about doing one of these XR650, however you pronounce that, one of these 5.8 gallon tanks, then you know, I lubed up those bushings. Tank slid right over them, no problem. The tank doesn't want to slide down far enough, and it's really hard to pull it down far enough to line up these bolts. And some people think you need to, or say you need to spread the tank further. You need, you know, basically you probably need somebody to sit on the top of the tank. It takes a lot of pressure. It's really a tight fit to get this tank on there. If you bolt this side in, then it's not going to keep moving around on you. And so you can bolt this side in. You could actually put a strap around here and strap it around the front if you're doing this alone, just to try and strap this down close to the frame, and it'll pull it down far enough that you can line up those bolts. And you've got one on either side. I was able to line up this one first and then did the other one second. This one also touches here. This wants to actually interfere with this when you're trying to pull it down, because it's kind of sitting up here. You finally pull it down far enough and you'll pull it down over that. Anything else? Let's see. So I've routed the gas lines or fuel lines down around. I've actually run them a little bit farther out this way so they would not touch or come that close to the motor. I ran a little zip tie here to hold it back, and then that goes over to a T-junction on the other side, and we'll take a look at that. And the T-junction runs right through here and back up to the carburetor, and you got both of these. You can run one side open, both sides open, if you feel like it. Up to you. I think the tank looks pretty good. It's a little better in white. I don't have the rest of the stuff on, but we're gonna start working on a couple other things. Next, we're gonna do that front fender. Go in red with the front fender. Why? Everything else is white. Red front fender, and then the hubs are going to be red as well, so that'll kind of tie that in a little bit. We've got the seat done. It's not on yet. I still got to pull some other stuff off, so more to go, but the tank is on. Okay, what we need to start working on now is the forks on that bike that's behind me, and I've got a pretty good idea what we're going to do here. So the forks have a pretty good preload stock springs. So the stock springs are a little longer than the aftermarket ones that you buy. And so those stock springs have pretty good preload. The valving on them is a little out. You have to kind of go pretty high in the compression dampening and rebound dampening to get the forks to work the way you want to. And if you're a little bit heavier, have a little bit extra weight on the bike, like a 5.8 gallon tank, then you're going to need a little bit higher viscosity fork oil. If you want it to work more in the mid-stroke a little bit better, then you'll up that fork oil quantity by a small amount. We have to find out exactly how much. So can't tell you exactly what that is yet, but we're going to figure that out. You can't add too much or you bottom out the shock, so it's a little bit extra, and then it brings the performance to the mid-stroke of the shock. Get better performance there. Anyways, I'm going to show you some of the things we're going to do. While we're doing this, I'm going to take this wiring harness, and instead of running it underneath the fork, we're going to run it alongside the fork in this harness capture mount they have. They run it underneath here so it can't possibly get caught in the frame, but there is enough room for it here. This never gets hit, so that's going to go straight through here and straight to the light instead of underneath the fender. It gives us an option for different types of fenders as well. So the next thing I need to do is I'm going to remove the brakes from here and here, and then I'm going to remove the front wheel, and so that I can remove each one of these fork cartridges one at a time. We'll drain the oil and replace it with a higher viscosity oil. We're actually going up from a 5-weight oil to a 15-weight oil. The 15-weight oil is going to be a lot better performance for what we need this bike to do. It'll be a little bit stiff for street use, but for off-road use it won't push all the way through that stroke, so it's going to be a lot better. Alrighty, we're on to the forks. Take that fender off. Yes sir, that comes off easy. Then it's disconnecting all the lines, so brake lines here, and then of course on the other side you want to disconnect the speedo, and actually you can just disconnect it from the fork, and then when you pull that wheel off you can just take it and set it aside. The next thing you're going to do is go over and loosen up those triple clamps, the upper and lower, and then you'll have to try and twist the fork a little bit and slide it out of there. And on this one, I forgot to videotape the left-hand side, so that one's done. But we got a videotape of the right-hand side so you can see what I do. Pulling this boot off was the biggest pain. That took a while, but no big deal, really. And then the cap got loosened while it was in the triple clamps, so the top of the fork. Otherwise, you'd never disconnect it. So before you pull it out, disconnect that. All right, over here, we'll pull all the oil out, and I pump it quite a bit. It's hard to see here. Just to get all that oil out, keep pumping it, get it all out, and then I put the cap back on. I'm going to empty that out. The new oil is 15 weight rather than 5 weight, so it's heavier viscosity, and I put in 70 cc's more. That is going to increase the range in the valving that's in there now, and I'll be able to adjust it the way I want it for off-road use. It won't just be spongy. It'll be much better. All right, so we've got the XR here in the background, and I don't have much left to do. I've got a few things that take some work, so this is pretty good for this episode. And next, I think we're going to see a bit of a transformation because there's a lot of bling stuff coming up next. But let me go over really quick. So I'll go over what I just did really quick. Yeah. All right. So the front fender, and kind of a different style fender than the, let's see if I can find it. Here's the other fender. Let's just take a look-see so you can kind of get a side-by-side comparison. That is what the fender looks like now, and that is what it looked like before. Let's see, like that. So basically it comes farther forward, bit rounded. Kind of an old school look. I wasn't really a fan, and I wanted the red fender. To do the fender, another mod you need to do is you need to reroute this wiring loom from going underneath the triple clamp to over it, and you just stick it in this little wiring loom holder, and then bring the rest of the wiring loom and put it up in the headlight. Quite easy. I'm going to have to relocate the blinkers because they would hit the tank, so we put in some new bolts, and we'll probably mount these up in here. Forks have been rebuilt. I'll call it reconditioned because basically, changing the oil out so that the valving works for my application, keeps it from being too soft, and changing the oil out for a heavier viscosity oil. Other than that, I have a few things left to do. Skid plate, they just confirmed that should be here this week. That's fantastic because we've got something coming up. So I have to relocate the blinkers. I have to build 2 wheel sets, build the wheels, and put tires on them. Actually, I wonder if maybe I can get the fully built wheels. Anyways, we'll take a look, and then that would save me some time. Then let's see, after that I need to mount a GPS holder so that we can have the Voyager Pro on here for our routes, and the seat is ready. And after that, I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. I might be missing something. If I am, well, then I'll add it. So I'm going to add that all to the last video. We'll do a walk around, pictures, all of that, and then stay tuned because our next video is going to be the adventure video series with this bike. Okay guys, I know it looks like the bike's not quite done and I got a bit to do, but parts are on the way. And as I was doing this video, I got a call from a buddy, and he goes, hey, you want to go riding? Let's go to Utah. He's from New Mexico. I'm from California. Meet in the middle. So heck yeah, we'll take this bike out, and we're going to test it out in Utah and some of the roughest terrain we can find. Okay, 2 days to put it together. I could do it. And I will do a quick video again to update this with all the parts on it. And then the next one will be in Utah. The shop is filling up. I've got to regroup here. You'll see another project over there I shouldn't be showing. The next project is coming. Okay, quick. There it is. Alright guys, next video is going to be a bit shorter. It's just going to be wheels and tires, and then taking a look at that whole bike, see what that whole thing looks like all together. It's a complete transformation, and then it's headed to Utah, 2 days.